Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Laura. I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Always interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play it as karmic themes. This will allow you to understand why your person's acting the way that they are. A lot of times we're dealing with people that do not act in alignment with the way that they truly feel. That's what shadows do. That's what spiritual blocks do. Unfortunately, spiritual blocks normally sabotage. They sabotage because they prevent us from actually having a clear intention about what we want. The focus is more on what we're afraid is going to happen. That's why people create shadows to give the illusion. But why are they creating that illusion? Because they have a fear, and that fear is driving them to, again, act a certain way. But we will also want to know, why are we attracting that person into our life? And we do pull for that because that will explain why and what you need to heal. What happened, what caused it. And we always have to bypass the reptilian mind, and the reptilian mind is the survival mind, that unless we give it the knowledge, it's not going to release that negative core belief. We're not going to be able to actually integrate the spiritual lesson. And it's not just about integrating the spiritual lesson, but transmuting the negative energy. And transmuting the negative energy just means that we didn't just learn it, we don't just have a new awareness of what we have to do, but that we're embodying the new consciousness. Because without embodying the new consciousness, we don't get to see ourselves differently. And unless we get to see ourselves differently and a situation play out differently, well, we're not going to be able to heal. We can have all the new awarenesses, but we're in physical form to learn. And part of the learning experience is to embody it. All right, now if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you gotta like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always the underlining energy that tells us why everyone's doing what they're doing. Really important, again, when we're dealing with people that have shadows. But it's also the word that you're going to put in your comment bar. Again, and the word of the comment bar is like, you'll need to write it, but you'll also need to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Am I forgetting anything? I feel like I'm forgetting something. I don't know. Anything of any importance or relevance in the channel, you'll find in the description box below. I feel like someone has a lot of anxiety towards you. Again, Scorpio, I feel like someone is obsessive. It's making them nervous and making them anxious, because I started to get that energy while I was doing my intro. Almost like someone really wants to talk to you, really wants to talk to you. These fell out, but I'm not going to take them because it was a chunk. Normally, if it's one or two cards, I will take it because I don't believe in, mistakes. There are no mistakes. We tend to perceive that what happens is a mistake a lot of times, but everything really is in divine order. The universe always brings us what we need to heal, to grow, to evolve into the highest state of consciousness, which is unconditional love. So the word of the video is overstimulated. And that's what I felt. I felt like, again, someone has a lot of anxiety. What creates overstimulation? Too much thoughts and too much emotion creates that freeze, that fight, flight, or freeze reaction, which tells us that the person that you're connected to, or again, that's connected to you, you may not be connected to them, or may not want to be connected to them. Well, they're overstimulated, and it's because they're obsessive. They keep on like thinking about what they did. That card, I just looked down, and literally that's what it was. All the other cards are face down. For whatever reason, that was face up, so we're going to take it. And this, again, is self-obsessed about, again, how they are being perceived by you, how you have the power now to make this person look bad in the eyes of people that they want to actually look good in. I feel like this person completely misjudged you and they're overstimulated. That's one area of their life. But now I'm also getting information that this person is overstimulated because of what's going on in their life as well. So I don't feel like they're doing anything. And you know why? Because that fight, flight, freeze is they're stuck in frozen. They're stuck in frozen. And that when a person's stuck in frozen, they can't think. Because again, we have to be, open to receiving like guidance a lot of times, intuitive guidance, but we also have to, again, be able to logic and rationalize. And this person can't logic or rationalize what they did, why they treated you the way that they did, why their life looks the way that it does. I feel like this person is going through a dark night of the soul. So we're going to see why I feel that, what this person did, what they're gonna do, what you're going to do, why you're attracting this person, what was the whole point. That's really important, especially when we're dealing with karmic relationships, when we're like, well, what's the whole point? It's like the person came in, they jerked me around for a while, they broke my heart and they left. So why would I need to learn that? Does God have a vendetta against me? I hear that all the time. And it's like, no, you attract people, situations, and experiences that are going to help you evolve, that are going to help you grow, that are going to help you see yourself differently. But that requires stepping into it. Not just again in the mind. We're talking about embodying the new consciousness, taking control and directing one's energy. Influence. So again, you're connected to a person that again was influenced by people about how they should treat you. And actually, not just on how they should treat you, but again, their life. And now they're completely overstimulated because they got really bad advice. Understand this person is always coming from a place of fear, though, because we don't take people's advice unless we don't trust our own. So again, I feel like you're dealing with someone that's very codependent, but when you knew them, they didn't give you the persona that they were insecure. If anything, they almost seem self-righteous. They almost seem like overly confident. Yeah, where this person, when you were dealing with them, they were always trying to scheme because they were being influenced by people around them that were saying, don't be with you. I feel like don't have a relationship, you know, um, and this person tried to figure out how can I have you in my life and obey these people that are influencing me. I'm on a lot of allergy medicine, so I have to drink. So my apologies on that. But scheming, that this person is always strategizing. And I feel like they tend to always strategize because they listen to the wrong people that are around them all the time. And when they were younger, they listened to their parents. When they date someone, they listen to that person. When there's nobody that they're dating, they listen to friends, they listen to relatives, they listen to everybody else aside from themselves. So they're very influenced because again, they don't really know who they are. They don't really like who they are. And they don't like who they are because they get overstimulated. Their emotions overstimulate them. So the thing is, they would rather always be like ahead of the game, like be scheming, like plan out everything. So this person actually thinks that they're really smart. They think that and they could possibly be very smart when it comes to book smart, but they are not smart when it comes to dealing with people. So what we see here is this person's overstimulated because they hold on to a lot of I want to say cognitive dissonances where they're confident, but then they're insecure. They're influenced by other people because they care too much about other people, but they think that they can get over, they can scheme, their way. So this person, again, is being influenced by outside people, but they still want what they want, which is why they're scheming. Because I feel like there is a very strong soul connection, and this person is extremely attracted to you. And I also believe that you've cut your energy off. You don't have a care in the world, which is why this person is overstimulated because you need to care. You understand? If you care, then they can affect you. You're acting like you don't care, which means that you must be talking to somebody else. You must be getting fed by someone else. So now this person really is nervous because they're starting to see who they were influenced by is again didn't have their best interests at hand. And we'll look into that as well. Yeah, when you dealt with them every time you wanted to have an emotional connection, what did they do? They withdrew from you. And that triggered your abandonment issues. This person didn't want to share their emotions. And the reason why is because they don't want to form that deep, intimate connection. Why? Because they're being influenced by outside people. So again, they couldn't give you anything. But in that, they thought that them not holding back from you, that you would have gotten triggered and that you would have put the effort in because that's what's happened to this person in the past. So they clearly didn't know who you were. This is, I feel like, could be like a grown man that's like in their 60s, 70s, 80s, that's listening to other people, not just someone in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, you know? And people don't realize that a spiritual block, unless we heal it, it's a shadow and it will continue to play out as karmic themes within a person's life. So this person has not just relied on one relationship or one person, but a lot of people. So there's someone that follows the crowd. They don't get good results. That's the irony. But because the people that they hang around with are on such a low vibration, they gaslight this person and say, well, you didn't really listen to what I said. And they also don't realize that the people that they're connected to don't want to see anything positive happen for them. It's again, they actually thought that these people were their friends. And that's the thing. When a person comes across needy, which is how this person comes across, it's like they get toyed with. They're always the victim. Yeah, this person doesn't feel like they belong anywhere. They feel like they're at a place, that they're in their own world. So with you, they became a rebel without a cause because that was their identity. Otherwise, who am I? I'm nobody because I listen to everybody else. And in that, I don't manifest things that are good unless it's benefiting other people. So again, I feel like this person gives all their energy away to other people. And that's the thing. So they were either paying for someone else or again, carrying too many people. So they might not just be paying for one person. They may be helping out financially in a lot of other places and giving their time and their energy to a lot of other places where they thought that they were getting emotionally fed, but that's because this person believed that the money and the success that everyone was obtaining was their success. That's what was going to make everyone really truly love this person, like this person. No, no, no. They're not respected. And that's what this person is starting to see. They're starting to see, wait a minute, I'm being manipulated. I'm getting manipulated. So this could be an ex-wife, an ex-husband. It could be like a friend. It could be any type of relationship that this person now is awakening. But they've repeated this pattern, and that's why they don't have anything. They wind up losing everything. Why? Because after a while, people do wake up, but the problem is this person woke up just thinking, oh, well, now you're the problem. Just like in the past relationship, it was this person's problem, and then this person's problem, where it's like, no, you're the problem because you again listen to other people because you don't know who you are. You feel like, again, like you don't belong, that you feel you're inadequate. When a person feels that they're out of tune, like again, in their own world to the point that they need to be the rebel without a cause, that they feel like they're always going to be alone. It's again, they don't have to be alone, they're choosing to be alone. It's like at this point, because every single person turns into the bad person. So what we see here is someone has a bad spiritual wound from childhood and it's played out throughout their life. So again, they could be someone that's very book smart and they thought that they were smart, but guess what? They're not smart because they don't listen to themselves. And then they strategize. So they don't even listen to the God that's inside, which is their intuition. They don't listen to that because the intuition only happens in the moment, in the now. And this person's so overstimulated, they don't know what they feel. God awful allergy medicine. So dry. All right. So let's see. So this is where they are now. They're starting to awaken to realize that the people that are surrounding them, whoever's been feeding them, whether that's one person, a group of people, again, that everybody turns into the bad person, that they don't know what to do. And the irony is, I feel like they're actually being mocked. And they're being mocked where they had listened about not giving you energy, and now everyone's saying, oh, well, why didn't you go for that person? Of course, they're not going to be with you now. Why would they be with you now? Yeah, you cared so much about them. You were here the whole time. You listened to us. I didn't tell you what to do. Meanwhile, they did. So they get gaslit. And so they don't trust who they are, which is, again, overstimulating because, again, they're being gaslit. So they know what they feel, but it's almost like this awakening of like, who the fuck am I surrounded by? Why did I listen to this? How did I get here? And of course, like you would not be anywhere around you didn't come and rescue me. You're like over there. So this person's obsessed and they're obsessed by their shame. Again, that's the occurring karmic lesson that continues to play out is again that this person keeps reliving shame, where they lose everything, that people turn on them, and they're always the victim. They're always the person that, winds up doing everything, giving all their energy, doing everything, and then losing everything. This is their perception. But I'm also feeling like this person, it comes from a low vibration. And so everyone needs to get their emotional needs met somehow. This person wasn't emotionally getting anything from anyone. They were just getting their ego fed. So they still weren't being nurtured. They still weren't being loved. They still weren't being, again, like I feel like somebody really shames this person, guilts this person, manipulates this person. And because they have a low self-esteem, it's easy to do. But they're selfish. They only cared about what they cared about. Like, again, I still have feelings for you. I still have a connection for you. I still want you. It's like, but I'm not going to do it on the up and up because I got to listen to these people. Thing is, you never gave this person energy. They expected you to because that's what those people told them. They said, oh, let that person come for you. That person will reach out. That person will come again, knowing damn well that you were never going to, that nobody would have because they didn't treat you well enough for you to do that. It didn't mean that you didn't miss them. It didn't mean that you didn't have feelings for them. And I feel like this person could feel that you were still around them because there's such a spiritual connection. So they actually did think that you were going to reach out to them. Now they're disgusted at themselves because they're seeing that you're not going to be tolerant to this. You were not tolerant to their behavior before. So there's in a sense of they don't know what to do. They feel hopeless. So again, they wind up always reverting back to that victim state consciousness, which keeps them in this low vibration. And when a person's in a low vibration, you know, it's one good thing that does happen is it makes the person reflect, right? I mean, this person's living a shit storm right now. Like it's like their life, they listen to somebody within their business in their life to make decisions. Again, they lost you. They've lost again I feel like they lost a shitload of money. They again listened to all the wrong people because again, it benefited those people to tell this person how and what to do. So again, all they have to do is keep your person in a low vibration. And how they do that is that they gaslight. Again, they all gang up on this person. So again, your person's insecure. They can barely fight one person. Again, especially if you get overstimulated because emotionally, then you feel inadequate. You actually feel like there's something wrong with you, which brings us back to that energy of shame. And that really, again, happened in childhood, right? So this person does not have a good connection with their family. It's again, I feel like they had a bully and they had someone that made them feel inadequate, someone that shamed them. And so this person keeps reliving that trauma. It's again, feel from that first original wound, which is exactly what I felt. Again, what we see here is a child that feels bad. And what we see the parent behind it, and the parent doesn't look happy either. The parent like has their finger up like this. Again, like you did something. It's you. Again, shame, which happens a lot of times too when we've inherited ancestral karma, family karma. The parent was shamed, and then they lived a life of creating like shameful experiences because the person doesn't believe they could be loved. So they try to get over. They don't believe that they can have a happy, successful life. So again, they rely on the wrong types of people, people that are in the same vibration as them, only they're not really a bad person. Yes, their actions are in alignment with being bad, but that's because they're trying to compensate everybody. And then in that, someone's got to pay. So in this situation, it would have been you that paid, just like all the others, because it's not like this person doesn't cheat, or if they're with a karmic, or it's not like they don't go into those relationships. They just lie and promise and become whoever for a very short time. And then they, again, reality hits and they have to go back to their life. So they kind of live in fantasy land. And this is where they've detached on an emotional level because it doesn't feel good to feel like you're inadequate. It doesn't feel good to sit in the energy of shame. That energy is very overstimulating because it's not just about what you perceive everyone else thinks of you, but it's what you think about yourself. And so there's a lot of judgment, and that is how these people or this karmic, or this family, again, have control over your person. Yeah, trauma. This is the energy. This is why. Just one more. So it's all about the sex. See, it's all about passion because I'm connected to people, but I still need my needs met. So it's not like I don't have feelings. I do have feelings, but because I don't go deep, I only know you on the surface. And so I'm so attracted to you. And so everything's about that because this person needs to be fed. So they're not being fed emotionally. So what are they going to do? they're going to go and they're going to get a counterfeit. And the counterfeit of love is passion. That also, when it's multiple people, because it's not like this person just like stays with anyone for any long period of time. They can't. So they have multiple people that they run around. It's like they meet people, they run around with those people. It's not one person because then they would form an emotional connection. Problem is that this person didn't give you anything, but now they actually have an emotional connection to you, which is overstimulating as well, because now this person has to think about themselves and why the hell they did what they did. Because they're like, why did I listen? Why did I, again, self-sabotage myself? See, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, always makes our relationships teach us. Now, you might say, okay, so that's what I did for this person. And I understand why they did what they did, but why the hell did I attract this person? Well, we're going to find out, Scorpio, because you're a mirror of who and what. So does that mean that you're a user? Well, some might be, but again, usually no. It's usually that we're looking at the wounds that mirror. Again, it's the same wound, different behaviorism. So the wound is what we see is self-sabotage. We see feeling inadequate, feeling like we don't really fit in, feeling like a little bit out of tune, feeling overstimulated because you're a highly sensitive person that made you feel inadequate. So, ding, 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 you see the energy, you see how you're mirroring because you, again, well, like I can relate, I'm a highly sensitive person. And when, again, people were able to manipulate me through my emotions too. And that made me shut down in fear. But you learned, you healed. But did you go through the actual experience to transmute that energy? Maybe never had the opportunity to transmute your trauma, right? Maybe you didn't have that. Or maybe you've continually had the opportunity, but you never learned the karmic lesson. Happens too. We get stuck in fear and we repeat the same behaviorisms and habits because we're not aware. So instead, we try harder, we give more, and that's not the answer. It's like about giving more and trying to be better and trying to like be anything is to become. So we pull 6 inner child cards because again, the karmic theme played out in childhood. Again, you're a mirror and you were born a highly sensitive. It's not like you acquired that. You can acquire that from trauma. However, you were born with it because your parents made you feel inadequate about it. And they might not have said, they might have not said, I don't like your sensitivity, but they'd be like, why does it take you so long? Why are you so finicky? Why does every little thing bother you? Why are you so sensitive? Again, these judgments that made you feel inadequate. So again, did your parents mean to do it? A lot of times, no. They were trying to toughen you up. Again, because the world out there is rough. So we're going to toughen you up. But what that did was it overstimulated you. Again, frustration, first card out. Unworthy, second card out. Organized chaos. Lies and secrecy. Abandonment. One more. Vulnerability. So what we see here is that you weren't emotionally allowed to be vulnerable. Again, so your needs really weren't met. And that's frustrating. It's that you're always like, oh, like it's because it's overstimulating to not get the support. And you were abandoned. That's what it made you feel like. It made you feel like there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you due to your sensitivity. Why do you care? Why can't you just get it right the first time? Why do you get overstimulated. I mean, probably didn't even know that what overstimulation was. You just felt like, I don't know, my body likes to do this. So I feel like I don't fit in anywhere. And that's what happens to highly sensitive people that are brought up in an environment where they're made to feel inadequate because now they're reflecting on that about themselves, and they don't know what it is that the overstimulation. They just know that they're not performing the same way that everybody else does, that they tend to be more sensitive, and not just sensitive within the emotions, but sensitive with sound, sensitive with like the brightness of the room, just sensitivity. So again, you then become the squeaky wheel, the problem. Like, why is it again, like everything is like a production with you? Like, why doesn't it just come easy? Like a lot of judgment and comparing between siblings sometimes, or again, other people. So it made you feel inadequate. It obviously didn't make you feel that you could be vulnerable. So you also know what it feels like to live a lie, to live a secret. It's again because you're trying to emulate someone else. You're trying to be someone else. You're trying to get love. You're trying to get that connection, but you don't really feel like you can because you feel unworthy of it. So again, that's that self-sabotage. So did it mean that life didn't work? No, life looks like a roller coaster. And for the majority, no, not when it came to relationships, because relationships make you feel and they make you think. And so every time that you get into a relationship, the first relationship that you had was with your parents and they made you feel inadequate. Again, did they mean to? Some yes, some no, some again, I'm gonna fight it into you. It's not even, we always say people don't mean to do it, even if a person inherited trauma. But again, they could mean to do it because, but they're coming from that wounded place of themselves. So they're so frustrated and angry with themselves. And now you're doing all the things that they did, where again, they were told that it was inadequate. They were told not to have feelings. They were told not to be sensitive. So again, it was like beaten into you. It was again verbally told to you again, and then emotionally cut off because of it. So the child doesn't believe they can have love because they feel like they don't belong anywhere. And so they create the persona because, of course, they want to fit in, they want love. So life again works, but it's like organized chaos. It's like I have to become someone that I'm not really in order to feel loved. And that a lot of times is how the wounded healer becomes. The wounded healer becomes the person that gives, that just goes along with everything. That's the fixer, that uses all the energy to build everyone up, but they don't get what they need. And that's what we saw here. So you lived that life, you healed that life. This person has not healed it. That's again that why again they're focused on the sex, because there is such a strong spiritual connection, but that's only because the spirit, the universe brought you into their life to show them you didn't get triggered by this person because you're on a higher vibration. You did the work, you're more spiritual. This person again tries to strategize, and the oxymoron is that they actually feel that they're slick about it because they've gotten over on people, but they've always gotten over on people that don't invest in themselves and people that they didn't really have an emotional connection to. It was more about the quantity instead of the quality because that built up their ego, where now here they have this spiritual connection that they didn't want, that they weren't looking for, but they're not in charge of love. And really, what Spirit is saying to this person is you don't need to carry all these people. You're the one that's actually running the show. You're the one that's making it work. You need to open up your eyes. So they're like afraid because they're like, but then if I let go of these people, I'm going to be alone. And that would really, then they're really going to have to make their own decisions. And that's really going to keep them in a place of overstimulation because, we actually have to ground the knowledge. So it's again, we have to walk through the fear. This person avoids fear. They're an avoidant, but they're being made to actually not be, and it's so uncomfortable for this person. It's so overstimulating because they have so much thought about it. So there's a part of you that's like, I understand. But does that mean you want to deal with it? It shouldn't. It shouldn't. Because again, this person needs to like heal themselves. Otherwise, they would be a karmic for you. Because again, you can't make a person see it. Otherwise, it winds up, you're on a higher vibration. You'll have to lower your vibration. And then you got two codependent people there. And a person like this is a master at manipulating. Again, they think that they're slick. Again, you're not, you're on a higher vibration. You lower your vibration. Well, again, you'll emotionally get manipulated. So we see why it's a karmic. Again, this person needs to create the new habits. It's like they're stuck in their old habits. I feel like they use food as a way to soothe them. Again, they tend to be overindulgent. Again, because these people keep your person in a low vibration, person that's connected to you in a low vibration. Again, they need to heal their inner child. We don't see anything. What we see is that they're actually stuck in anger because they're like, how the fuck did my life look like this? Why? Why did I do this? I hate myself. I hate myself. I hate myself. That's the energy. So it's again, they're not able. They don't trust. They won't trust anybody because, again, they trusted these people. So, again, the same karmic cycle played out. They lost it all. They're not, so they're angry. We don't really see them doing anything because they don't know what to do. They're overstimulated. And what we see for you is you're confident, you're fearless. And that's very triggering for this person. It's very triggering. And they would, again, wind up being in competition with you, try to knock you down a peg or two, because, again, they don't love themselves. They feel like there's something wrong with them. You mastered this. So we have to say, again, well, then I attracted this person because, and Spirit says, because you were abandoned emotionally and because you were made to feel unworthy about yourself. And that's what's really the lies and the secrecy. And Spirit said, so you needed to transmute that energy. You needed to find your power. You had to find your power. This way you can avoid the trouble. You make the energy shift. That's what happened. That's what we do when we transmute the energy. We shift that perception, and that changes the dynamic of the connection, which again is why your person's like, you're not, there must be somebody else. There's not, no, you're on a higher vibration. So you're not obsessed with this person, but they are with you because they need to learn that lesson. It's like they didn't think that things were going to play out this way. I didn't want to fall in love. I didn't want to have feelings. I don't want like this is scary. I gotta change everything. And this person's like the more that they think about it, the more overstimulated they get. And the reason why is because you can't think like that. You got to think with your heart and your gut. Again, you got to feed yourself, find yourself. This person will never find themselves as long as they're connected to people that they depend on. And that's anybody. They can lose these people, they'll meet new people that do the same. They might not do it in the beginning because in the beginning, people tend to have more patience, more appreciative. But what happens over time is it becomes expected. And again, and if you're an insecure person, you're going to buy into the guilt, the shame, and again, everything that binds you to that wound. where you're like, I learned that lesson and I feel bad. And I do have unconditional love for that person. But Spirit's saying, yeah, this is what it looked like when you were in this energy. So you have to forgive and also understand it's like they're living their trauma. And it also brought something up in you. Again, you had to fully transmute the energy. I needed you to go through a relationship like that and prove to me that you weren't going to become the broken healer, the wounded healer, where you give of all your resources to someone that is not, they're stuck in their old habits. They need to heal their inner child. So Spirit leads us off with this. Peace. I am unwavering in the face of fear. This is what Spirit wants you to do, wants you to know. Because again, you will be confronted with experiences that are new, that will trigger you from fear, but there's only two energies, love and fear, and you're love. Don't get into fear. When you're grounded, you will not have that fear because you'll be in the moment, and only in the now do you get divine guidance. And Spirit says, I come to my senses. Again, senses, all your intuition, right? That's part of it, but it's also and embrace the challenge, meaning you have the divinity inside of you. You have God inside of you because you have love, and that's what God's energy is unconditional love. So again, we have to love ourselves, and you get to see this situation through a different perception that there was a strong spiritual connection. There is love there. It's just this person is broken until they actually heal. And you know what that feels like. So you can be compassionate and you can be vulnerable too with this person because, again, you're strong. And then it says, I am determined to think with gentleness and calm. Remember, it's all about forgiveness. It's all about seeing things from the highest perception. Why? Because God says, I want you to be the energy of me. You are the energy of me, of unconditional love. That's pretty hard, though, to do when you have wounds, where you were made to feel inadequate, where, again, that was probably another reason why you had to live this spiritual lesson. Forgiveness. Someone made you feel the same way. So you needed to see it from, again, a different perception. I find inner silence and become a manifestation of peace. So again, when we are in the energy of unconditional love and we're loving ourselves, it's that we know that there's challenges, but we know that we're not alone. We have the divinity inside of us. And we found that divinity through finding ourselves, because the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. And that's what you're doing. So you are able to manifest peace within your life, no matter what happens in your environment. That you're able to go with the flow of life because the universe matches your energy. So you see you're supported. You're not abandoned. You're not abandoned because God's with you, because it's inside of you. You just needed to raise your energy even higher. And that was by forgiveness, forgiving yourself for the judgments that other people kind of put onto you because of your unique sensitivity. And Spirit leaves it there. You let me know how you resonated with this one, Scorpio, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.